Hello and welcome back to the channel. Jumping on here real quick because there is a message and there is something that has been laid on my heart that I must get off my chest to all of my brothers and sisters out there. I want to first put out a disclaimer, and I have to do this because I don't want to appear biased or anything like that. I have nothing against any other people, religion, creed, what have you. But I am specifically talking to Black America or Black Americans, the descendants of enslaved people. That's what this is going to be about today. So, if you don't want to hear what I have to say, if you're outside of that scope, you could just pass this video on. But this is to my currently called foundational Black Americans. What are we doing? What are we doing? Our ancestors fought, bled, and died and got so much accomplished as a people. What are we doing today? What do our families look like today? In terms of the nuclear family, what does it look like? What are we standing on in terms of principles? That's just a question that I have. Because it is ridiculous that our forefathers and mothers, just a short period ago, I'm talking about in the 20s, in the 40s, in the 60s, after slavery had been done and done away with, but they were still fighting for equality, how they were able to put their pennies together and work together and get things accomplished so that we can live the type of life that we are now living today. And we can care less what they went through, then we can care less what type of impact we are putting on the world today. I just would like to know the strongest people, the most innovative people. Everything we touch turns to gold, platinum, and every other precious metal or jewel you can think of. But because of our lack of love for one another, everybody's claiming to be real, everybody's claiming to be true, but when it comes down to it, most people are fake. You could care less about what's going on with your brothers and your sisters. You could care less. You could care less what's going on within your immediate family. You could care less. You're holding grudges. You're not speaking to people. You're self-righteous. And all of this stuff is affecting us in a negative way while we are being surpassed by other nations. And it's ridiculous. Now we're doing all this talk. I'm hearing all this talk about reparations. But what exactly is the plan for reparations? All due respect, Tariq Nasheed, I don't have what's the plan? And it's another group that's out here fighting for reparations. What's the plan that you can give to Black descendants of slaves? What's the message? I understand that you can't illustrate everything online, but what kind of plans are we coming up with to pass information on to Black Americans, foundational Americans? Why is it that we aren't going to town hall meetings and fighting within our local communities about issues that are going on within our communities. Because we could care less. And it sickens me because I love my people so much. And it's like we have gotten so sick and tired of each other that we are looking outside of each other for security and to build wealth with other nations. I did a video maybe about a month ago. It didn't get much traction, and that's fine because I'm pretty much a new channel. I've been doing this for over a year now, but I have not been consistent. But I did a video entitled The Burning House. And this was a statement that Dr. King said, one of his last speeches with Harry Belafonte. And I quote, Dr. King said, "I fear, not I believe or I think." He said, "I fear I have led my people into a burning house. Our children cannot read. Mothers, we are working and trying to make a living because the fathers are no longer in the home. So we don't have time to sit down with our children and see what type of help they need in the educational system. We're not teaching them values in terms of being the best that they can be, not being conceited, not being arrogant, but teaching principles. Everybody doesn't have to be a believer of the Most High, or so-called Christian, or so-called Muslim. But you got to have something to stand on. You got to go by some type of code, some type of platform, foundation, because evidently, because we have separated ourselves as a people from our relationship with the Most High God, we have been dwindling down ever since. And they love to see it. And when I mean they, that's anybody outside of the black race. Foundational Black America. We're still doing things, but we're doing things on an individual basis. As long as me and mine got that, that's all me and mine, me and mine, me and my household, me and mine. No. If my brother is suffering, then I'm suffering. Because we come through the same lineage. We have the same culture. We have the same past. That's why I don't understand how people can go outside of their race. And that's why so many of our children who are born to interracial couples are so confused. They're trying to fit in somewhere. Just because we did not have patience with each other, we flee to other nations. Oh, black women is this, black women is that. Oh, black men is this, black men is that. Don't y'all know that y'all are fulfilling the destiny that was already prescribed to you? Don't you know this was the agenda all along? And I understand things happen, ladies, sisters, my sisters. I understand that accidents may happen or that you may have gotten violated in a way where you don't feel like you can carry your child. I understand that. But that should not be a habitual thing. We're using abortions like birth control. And that was designed by a white supremacist, Martha Sanders, who called us weeds, how we should be exterminated. She's the one who founded Planned Parenthood. And her mission is being fulfilled every day. That we march into those clinics and we vacuum out our children. It's being succeeded. Do you know if we never subscribe to abortion, that we will be on top right now? Do you know that the Latinos, they're pretty much Catholic and they take their faith seriously to some extent? They don't believe in abortion. That's why they've been able to almost surpass us in terms of numbers. We have got to do better within our families. We got to forgive. And we got to figure out how to work this thing out amongst ourselves. People are trying to take our culture. They've already stolen inventions. When I was doing research earlier this year, and I did a few short videos on the inventors, how our ancestors taught themselves how to read, how our ancestors made inventions. And one in particular that really hurt my feelings was this one particular lady who came up with the washboard theory. And I can't think of her name right off, but you can look it up or look at one of my short videos because I have a lot of inventions or inventors within Black America, descendants of slaves. We've done a lot for the world, from the air condition to the toilet stool, to the telephone, to the first roller coaster, electric roller coaster, to plasma services. We have done a lot for the human race, and we are at the bottom. Now, I'm not going to get into the reason why. I did a video on that too, so check out my content, please, and like and subscribe, because this does take a lot of work to do. But if you have something to say, which I do, and I love my people so much, it's worth it. At least when I close my eyes in death on this side, I can say that I tried. I tried to move my people forward. Moses said, "Let my people go, Pharaoh." We can't blame it on anybody else at this point. Yes, we're still a symptom of past and things that still goes on today. But if we were one body, regardless to our differences, if we stood on business together, we will be unstoppable. The bond could never be broken. And the only time we come together is if a white cop shoots a black male or a black woman. That's the only time we come in droves and we represent. Why does it have to take something critical to happen? Why does there have to be a loss of life for us to come together, unite, and get some things done? It only took them 11 months of boycotting the Alabama busing company. It only took them 11 months to get the results that they needed. But the thing about that versus here or today is that they were together. They had no choice but to be together. But when Dr. King said, "I fear, I have led my people into a burning house," he saw exactly what is going on today. We don't have any businesses. We bring forth about, and some of us work on the table, so they'll never know really how much Black America has. But what they can calculate is anywhere between 1.7 and $2 trillion. Where's our businesses? Where's our schools? Where are our lawyer offices? Where are our grocery stores? We do have barbershops, and we have salons. But I'm talking about these hard hitters. Who do we really have in our corner? Because we have a lot of us that have sold us out in order for self-preservation, not thinking about your entire people. That's not how other people operate. I feel better. Oh, I feel a little bit better because I don't care if only 2 people hear this particular video. I hope they share it. At least it's off my chest. Whether the YouTube algorithm takes this to the masses or not, Kendrick was not lying when he said they're not like us. We are different people. When we're going to wake up and see the value in ourselves? Yes, we have been beaten down. Yes, we have been told we won't amount to anything. Yes, we are still living in a certain type of environment. But we cannot blame everybody else for this. We have to take some accountability amongst ourselves. When we see people, even on social media, that are violating against us, even if it is our own kind, we got to stop supporting. We have got to, and make it known why we're not supporting them. We talk about everything else. We have reactions to everything else. We have opinions about everything else. We can stitch this video to that video and our commentary to this and that and the other. Well, why not say, oh no, what he or she just said is totally against Black America? Off with their heads. We will not support. Off with their heads. It only takes a few people to make noise. And I listen to a lot of content creators. And it's like we're talking about the same stuff over and over and over again. I'm tired of talking about solutions. I'm tired of talking about what if and we need. What are we going to do? I'm ready to get started. I sing this song, I'm a soldier in the army of the Lord. Yeah, I'm fighting. But I also got to fight this physical battle as well. And I can't do it by myself. The ones that's out here cannot do it by ourselves. We got to unify. And that means that you got to let go of the BS. Put your big girl panties on, or your big boxer shorts on. And let's get to work. Let's get it. Because if you get a chance, look at Vicky Dillard. She did an interview with Dr. Claude Anderson, and he's from my neck of the woods. And he told us years ago that they were going to start, the U.S. was going to start bringing in people that will replace us. That will replace us. And he ain't never lied. And I love everybody who's come in and immigrants or whatever, but we still have not settled our case yet. And everybody has gotten help except for us. Everybody has gotten reparations except for us. And that is because it won't take nothing much. It really won't. But the hardest thing that we have to do, the hardest thing, is to come together in unity and unify. I love you. I don't care who you are. I love everybody. But the people who share the same history and heritage that I do, it's a special place in my heart for each and every one of you. I went to South Carolina, and I'm going to wrap this up. I went to South Carolina, and I've heard a lot of back and forth with, I really don't even want to give them props. but the fresh and fit guy. And he you could tell he's hurt so bad because he really doesn't hate us. He really doesn't. He says things so he can fit in, but he would love to be Black Foundation America. He would love it because through the ashes we still rose. And anybody who talks that much about somebody else, you sweat me, baby. You're sweating me. If you really hate somebody or don't like somebody, why are you getting paid for hating us? That's something to think about. But we gotta come together, folks. My people. If our ancestors were able to do it in the heat of racism and slavery, if they were able to withstand the bomb threats and the lynching and the oh my God, they went through so much. My grandfather had to look down when he went to the market as a little boy. He fought in World War II. My great grandfather fought in World War I. And when I went to South Carolina on last week, I was able to go to my family's grave site, the ones who get buried in South Carolina. And I saw graves going back all the way to the early 1800s. My church has a slave graveyard to where some of the graves have been disturbed because they wanted to run a highway through that cemetery. So some of those ancestors their resting place was even destroyed. They couldn't even get peace in the ground. But because we did not come together and stand unified, the city was able to come through and do whatever they wanted to do and disturbed our ancestors even after death. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. I'm going to be putting some more stuff out. It's been laid on my spirit. A lot of people have been disrespecting us and saying some ill things. They really don't have anything to do with our plight on reparations. They don't have anything to do with that, but they have a lot to say about it. And especially, I love our brown cousins and stuff, but a lot of them feel as if, well, we and the Asians shouldn't have to pay reparations because we weren't here. We had nothing to do with that. But let me tell you something. When you become a citizen of the United States, when you wear our flag for the United States, when you give your oath, and that's why I don't like Vivek, and I hope he isn't a presidential candidate in 2028 because I don't like him. I know how East Indians look at people of darker skin, and even though they're dark, I know how they treat their own. But you have a lot of brown people that are speaking against reparations because they feel like they're not responsible for it. But when you take that oath to become a citizen of these United States of America, built off of the backs of my ancestors, where we created in the 60s civil rights and messed up by saying minority, you were able to come in, you and your family, you were able to immigrate in and enjoy the fruits of our labor. So you adopted America's debt as well. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe. This is serious, y'all. This is serious. I love you all, and may the Most High bless.